All right. We are recording. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to our Tuesday team call. And we are excited that we have Miss KellyLee, Diamond Ambassador from Oklahoma, with us today. And first, before we begin, I just wanted to go over some of the things that we have for October, because there's kind of a lot. And I had to write them down thinking, and I could probably forgot something. So Beth or Ariel, if anybody thinks of something else, fill me in. But let me go down this list really quick, and then we will go right in with Miss KellyLee. And if y'all have questions, as always, you just go down to the chat button and make comments, and we will get your questions answered. Okay. All right. So all of October, November, and December, we have free shipping for anybody that orders over 145 PV. You do that by going into your subscription, making your subscription 145, and it will automatically change it. If you have a preferred customer that's already ordering over 145P, they will automatically get free shipping. But if you have a customer or a new customer that orders, they can put in the code free ship in all caps and get free shipping. Okay, that's for this month, November and December. Pretty awesome. Okay. And then we have brand new Consistency Club prizes. Y'all, there's a Roomba, there's an Apple Watch. There's some really cool prizes in there. So go take a look at those. Right now, our teams are doing a Silver and 7 challenge. If you are not in the Silver and 7 challenge, you can still join. Just let us know that you went in. And there's a link to the group in all 3 of our team pages. But the Silver and 7 challenge is going to give you tips and tricks and challenges every single day for a week on how to get to silver. And if you're already silver, but you maybe need to re-rank or you want to add 3 more people this week, then jump in that group and you'll learn some tips. Okay, then we have sharing secrets. So we are getting these clues from corporate about our new product that's going to be launched here soon. So we will be finding that out probably in about 2 weeks. It's during Leaders Retreat, we will be finding that out. We have Wednesday night Spanish Zoom calls. And if you are not in the Plexus Ambassador Community Facebook page, you need to join that. They put in the Spanish Zoom calls there. They also post a lot of the hints for the sharing secrets thing. But on the Wednesday night calls, y'all, they will, if you listen to that call, even though it's in Spanish, at the end, you'll have an opportunity to get $20 off sign up promotion codes, okay, promo codes. And then we have a new deal with our $199 welcome packs, where you're not only earning the business building bonus, it's like right at $50 if you sign somebody up with a $199 kit. But this month, also, you're going to get 5 points as a new level 1. And all the way down 7, everybody's going to get the points all the way 7 levels down, okay? That is just for this month. Starting next month, it will just be, you'll get the points, but you'll get the business building bonuses as if it were a $99 kit, but you're going to get the points with the $199 kit. So it is an incentive for us to sell that $199 kit because we get points and we get business building bonuses. Okay, and then this is the last month for the Super Silver promotion. If you are not Super Silver yet, that means you haven't reached 50 points yet in your organization. If you hit 50 points this month, you'll get an extra $100 bonus. You'll get an extra $50 this month, and you will get $50 next month if you hold your Super Silver rank, and that's 50 points. Now, here's the other deal. If you sign somebody with a $99 kit, that will count as points for you. It will not show up in your back office. So let's say your back office shows that you have 40 points and you sign 2 people with $99 welcome kits. They're not going to show you points, but you're going to get them, and that would get you to the 50 point mark. Does that make sense? But if you sold the $199 kit, it would show up in your back office. That ends this month. So hurry up if you want to get the Super Silver. And then also they just announced while we were in Hawaii that there's a new lifestyle bonus for Lexuses. Once you hit Emerald, you don't have to get a Plexus Lexus. They will give you a lifestyle bonus. You want to get a Plexus boat. You want to put that towards savings for college. You want to put that towards a truck, whatever it is that you want. It's a lifestyle bonus, and it's 70% of what they would give you to get a Plexus Lexus. So it's another option for us. And then also, if you were having trouble getting through to Plexus, there is now a customer service live chat. Has anybody used that yet? Raise your hands. I want to see some hands. It's pretty cool and it's fast. So if you need a live chat, answer questions pretty quickly, just log in and scroll down. It's at the very bottom of that first page. That's it. That's all I got. Did I miss anything? No? Maybe? My dog's going back and forth. Window. Look, she's looking for rabbits in the rain. So she's mad I won't let her out. Okay.
Hey, I just posted day 2 on Silver and 7, just in case anybody was wondering where it was. Sorry. I just want to let you know that it is on there now, because yesterday people didn't see it at first. So.
Okay. Okay, so in November, the $199 will count for points, but not, it will count for BBBs, but it will only count up to the $99 mark. So this month, though, they're giving us the full $199. So instead, let's just say next month, you sign somebody with the $199 kit, you will get like $25 like you would for a $99 kit, but you'll also get the 5 points. But this month, they're doing both as like they didn't have to do that. They just let us do that for this first month, where we get the full bonus and we get the points. Does that make sense, Angela, wherever you are? Okay, so let's get, where'd she go? There you are. Okay, I found Kelly. Let's go and chat with Kelly and hear what she has to say. We're very excited to have her. I'm gonna change it to speaker view. So Kelly, can you unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Alicia and Ariel and Beth, for having me on today. I'm so excited to share. I'll just start by sharing my story, kind of where I was before Plexus, and then just how my life is different because of Plexus. So, and then I'll share a couple of tips with you at the end. And if you have any questions, feel free to chat and let me know. So before Plexus, I'm actually from Texas. I transplanted here to Oklahoma City after meeting and marrying my husband. He has served on staff in church ministry for over 20 years now. And we were at the same church he was there for 17. And we just last month celebrated our 15th wedding anniversary. So before Plexus, I was a director of restaurant operations for different restaurant groups, some big, some smaller. A couple of my most recent, I actually started at Houston's in Dallas and Uncle Julio's, where some of my, that was my training ground and where I fell in love with that industry. And so I hired and developed teams and just training programs, and I really loved my job, but I didn't have a lot of time freedom, as you can imagine, especially when we had new openings. You know, that was kind of my responsibility. The finances were my responsibility. So it was a lot of work. What I loved about it were the people, and I loved the challenge of it too. So meeting new people, serving people, and just the challenge that came with the job. So that's where my heart and passion was after college and just through my career life. I worked at a raw vegan restaurant and culinary academy. That's kind of one of my proudest things that I did here in Oklahoma City for a very renowned raw food chef who's published and started this culinary institute, and people came from all over the world to learn and study here. So I learned a lot about food and nutrition working there. I already had a passion for it, which is why I decided to work with that company. And so long story short, in November of 2013, I was working for a restaurant group, and they overextended some expansion, and they laid me off. And I was making incredible money, and it was right before the holidays, and I knew the severance was going to run out pretty quickly. And Jared and I decided that this was our chance to be owners. We always wanted to do this, so we talked to our bank, had the funding for a loan for about $250,000 to open our very own restaurant in the town that we lived. A historical building. We had everything lined out. We were about to sign a lease, and the contractor and landlord said, listen, we want to put you over on this side of the historical building, but it's going to take about a year to get it ready. And we're like, what? Like, I was more than distraught. I mean, I had projections set for the next 3 years. I knew that when we would profit, and I mean, all my heart and soul were in this project. Okay. That's what I thought my future looked like. So Jared said, look, babe, I wasn't on Facebook, y'all. I had about 200 friends on Facebook, and I didn't have the emotional bandwidth to have that kind of, I was very busy and I was very stressed. And so I didn't have a lot of relationships outside of my job and church. So it just kind of took everything I had. So I didn't know how to work Facebook. I wasn't paying attention to what people were doing. Every once in a while I'd scroll, but I'd never heard of Plexus before. And he would show me every month or so, he would flash his phone and Facebook at me and go, look, they just went to Bloomingdale's. Honey, look, they got their Lexus. Jen and Cody just paid off $50,000 in student loans, like in one check. I'm like, that's great. I don't know what Plexus is, and I don't know anything about it. And, we've done network marketing before, and I had some stuff in my garage still from a very reputable network marketing company, and I had risen up the ranks, but man, it was freaking hard. And I couldn't state, it was so hard to do. And so I thought, you know what, I don't know. I love the business model. I just don't know if I'm into that again. But this particular day, I was sitting at the table after, the contractor had called me, and I'm like, we don't have the funds to stretch this out for a year. What in the world are we going to do? And I was just praying and, pretty upset. And Jared said, look, babe, I don't care if you do or don't do this Plexus thing, but I trust my friends, and it's not just one of them. It's quite a few of them, and they're having success. And I don't care if you do it or don't do it, but at least let's find out what you're saying no to. And by the way, I set you up on a call on Monday morning with my friend Celeste. I was like, excuse me, you set me up with what? And so I was ticked, but I honored it. Okay. So I went to work researching, y'all. Like, if I was going to do something like this, I knew that they were having success. I did know that. I believed, in what he was telling me. But I knew also that if I was going to represent a company, it had to check out and then some. Like, I knew that, that the integrity of the leadership and the ownership had to pass my bar, because I'd work for people that didn't do everything on the up and up always. And I had to be the person that says, I had to be that stopgap. So I just wanted to make sure that wherever I was putting, my eggs, that basket was going to check out with me. And so I went through it all with a fine-tooth comb. The products were not at all what I thought they were. I thought it was weight loss and a quick fix. And a lot of people, ask me, Kelly, how do you learn about the products? What's the best product video to send to my new people? Y'all know what I did? I took the bottle, I looked on the website, and I Googled every ingredient, every single ingredient. That's how I learned what these products were all about and what they were going to do for my 87-year-old grandmother and my best friends and, the people I cared about the most. That's how I did my research. So I got on the phone with Celeste on the following Monday, like he told me to. And I had some questions, but mostly, I don't know, like, I had already done my research. And so I kind of just wanted to know what the next steps were and how do I do this business. And she talked to me, and one of the most refreshing things was that y'all have heard of abundance and scarcity mindset. When someone comes at you like, oh my gosh, you'd be so great at this, you could totally do this. Like, you can't, sometimes, depending on the person, you feel like they need you more than you need them. And I didn't feel that way at all. When I got on the phone with Celeste, it was very, I believe in what I'm doing. And man, if you want to do this, I think it'd be a smart choice. But, if you have any other questions, I'm here for you. And that was so refreshing to me. And I don't want to overlook that, because I think that's what it's all about. I think it's nice to tell people you'd be great at this. But I think when we tell them, oh my gosh, you could be a rock star, to me, that makes them feel like maybe I need more from you than Plexus has to offer you. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind when you're talking to people. So that was super refreshing to me, and I got off the phone with her, and I signed up 24 hours later, and got on the phone again and had my notepad ready. And this girl had gone, you guys know, she like rocket fired and had already signed up again. So I knew that she knew what she was doing, and if anything, I'm coachable. So I took my pen and paper and I said, what do I do? And she said, well, post on Facebook, tell people what you're doing. And anybody that likes or comments or shows interest, follow up with them. I'm like, okay, great. Point number one, what's next? And that's all she told me to do. She didn't say, go learn the products, go study, go learn about the industry, go to an event. She didn't say any of that. Did I do those things? Heck yeah, I did. Because I want to know what I'm doing. But she didn't tell me to do those things. And so one of my first points that I want to talk to y'all about is just keeping it simple. And it's so hard to do. I heard Bob Hylick say this yesterday on something he was talking about. Simple is hard. As a leader, as a person, it's really hard to keep things simple. It's easy to overcomplicate them, right? Especially if we're nervous and we're like, oh, they're asking me a Plexus, I don't know what to say. So I tell them I give them all these videos and hopefully they can make their decision. But a confused mind won't. It can't make a decision when there's too much information thrown at it. So that was brilliant of Celeste to go, you know what? Just tell people what you're learning. Let them know what you're learning. If they are interested, follow up. And so that seems easy, right? And a lot of times we tell our potentials to do that, our new ambassadors to do that. But I had never posted on Facebook before, ever. I had no banner picture. When you look at my page, it was black. And I had the grainiest picture of a picture as my profile. I hadn't been changed in 4 years. I think Jared probably set up my Facebook for me when he married me. And so I didn't know what I was doing. So here I am sweating bullets going, oh my gosh, one of these super successful women is going to, show me what to do. And here I am sweating bullets because I don't even know how to post on Facebook. What do I do? What do I say? What are people going to think about me? My husband's in ministry. I don't want to come into church and be like, oh, there's Kelly. She's going to try to sell us something. She wants something from us. And so I was so nervous, but I did it anyway. And that's one thing that I think is really important, that if you overcomplicate things and give people all these choices on what to do next, they're going to take the path of least resistance. They're going to go study. They're going to go hide in their, little office, and they're going to study and they're going to learn, because that's safe. Telling people what you're doing, that might not be safe because you don't know how they're going to react. But that's all she told me to do. So I thought Celeste was sitting at home going, TikTok, that girl isn't doing what I told her to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to work with her. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm coachable. So I took a picture of me sitting by my laptop and said, after a lot of skepticism and a ton of research, I decided to join a company called Plexus. I didn't say, look at my website, check it out, hey, message me. I didn't say anything like that, but I had a lot of interest. And so people would message me and go, hey, Kelly, I've heard it might work with this. Would it? I'm like, I have no idea. I really don't know. But I do know that there's a 6-day money back guarantee, and hey, what do you have to lose? I've heard that it has helped some of my friends with this, or maybe I hadn't even heard that yet because I just clicked join and I didn't know any Plexus people. So I am probably a little bit unlike a lot of people. I started for the business. The products had to check out, but I started for the business, because my other option was, to go work for someone else, which I did not want to do ever again, or to wait and be an owner of a business that I didn't even know how successful it was going to be. In a perfect world, I was going to take out $250,000 and hope that I profited something great in 3 years. And also I would be tied geographically to a location. And I didn't know what God was doing in our lives when he said, I'm going to close this door and I want you to look through this one. Because what ended up happening in our lives is Jared's best friend from his whole life, grew up with him since 4th or 5th grade, was the new pastor of a church 40 minutes in another town, from Chickasha to Oklahoma City. It's about 40 minutes away. I was commuting. When I worked in the restaurant industry, I was commuting every day to Oklahoma City. So that got old. But I did it. And Jared was called to be on staff at this church. And right as we were called to be on staff here, his best friend was diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer, which was obviously sucked. But he'd never been able to work with him before in both of their long careers. And we just knew that, Jared had been asked to move multiple times in his career. He never felt God say, this is it. And we both immediately had a peace about this, that no matter what happened, this is where God's calling us to be. And so he joined the staff here as a college pastor. And a year after, so we were able to walk through this journey with our best friends. Okay. And I was able to share nutrition, things that I was learning, things that MD Anderson, wasn't on the up and up about, y'all, honestly. Just a really cool thing that came from this is his wife is now a Ruby on my team. Shane went to be with the Lord in February after a 3.5-year battle. And we were here the whole time for it. And Misty is stable. Well, I mean, he took great care of her, but Plexus has been amazing in their lives. Just a really, really cool thing. But also, we were able to share what we were learning about health and nutrition to make Shane's life way better. And Misty believes that it definitely, stretched it out just health-wise. And she also was able to share with the head nutritionist, the whole department at MD Anderson, just because of what she was learning in the last 3 years with Plexus. So it's just been really neat to see how that wave has just rippled and it's just affected other people. So she's very, very passionate about what she's learned. So if you want to follow her, it's Misty Branch Hall. She's really just a neat story from all of that. So a year after we moved here, we got a call from one of, let me back up a little bit. 13 months after we joined, I clicked join, our team went Emerald. And we were still in the town where we thought we were going to put down roots and retire and have a brick and mortar building, okay, forever. And God made it so that we could say yes to joining Shane and Misty on staff here because we weren't tied down to anything geographically. And we had the financial freedom to buy a house before we sold our other one. Our team had just gone Emerald in 13 months. So it was really, you can just look back and go, okay, God knew exactly what he was doing every step of the way. And so we moved here. A year after we moved here, we got a call from one of the moms of a daughter in our college group, in our college ministry. And she said, Jared, Kelly, I don't know why I'm calling y'all. Maddie said to call the Lees. And for some reason, I'm calling you because KellyLee, our youngest daughter that we adopted at birth, she's 10 years old now. Well, her birth mother and I have had a relationship over the years. And she has her 4 youngest children, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 20-month-old little boy, and a baby girl who is barely 2 months old. And she has run into some hardship and she has left them with us at our house and she's gone. And before we call Child Protective Services and just hope for the best that they stay together, we're just trying to find someone in our church so we know that these kids will be near to KellyLee and safe. And for some reason we're calling you. Well, Jared and I had a stack of papers, y'all, for probably 2 years from DHS, Child Protective Services here, Department of Human Services here in Oklahoma, to become a foster to adopt parent. And I'd filled half of it out. I think Jared filled all of it out because I asked him to. And I just felt like, okay, well, I don't really know what I'm walking into here. I couldn't control the situation and I just procrastinated. But when we moved into our house here, there's a bedroom across from our master, big enough to put bunk beds, 2 closets, lots of built-in drawers, the old home, with this really cool character. And in the bathroom, they had installed a new vanity and there were 3 little baskets underneath the vanity. And I would just pray in there and think, what? Maybe I can adopt 3 boys because, 3 boys is like one gender. They can all stay in the same. It's like having 1 kid, basically. They're all in the same room. Maybe Jared will let me do that because I wanted a big old family. I'm one of 5 and Jared's one of 2. He and his sister were both adopted. So we knew adoption would be part of our family story. We didn't know, that it would be all of it. But that's just kind of the way the Lord worked it out. And so I just pray, I could put their names on these little baskets and then maybe someday down the road, when that all gets settled down, we could adopt a baby girl, and maybe I could have a baby girl, and we could have 4. And I wonder how the boys would, adjust, and all. I mean, this is just all in my head and in my prayer, and I'm just envisioning a couple of bunk beds, little pajamas in the buckets, under with bath toys in that bathroom across from their room, and then we had another room up there that I was just envisioning maybe someday we could do that. And so we got that call. And Jared said, I'm going to let you talk to my wife, but I know what the answer is. That was on a Friday. We had 3 little boys in our house on Tuesday night. And Taryn was released from the hospital. She had RSV, and she was fighting for her life. And we didn't even know what was going to happen with that, but we said yes. And so my heart was always to be able to keep a sibling group together, because I'm the oldest of 5. I'm the only girl. I have 4 younger brothers, and I just knew, my life would be so different without my siblings. And so I wanted to give that to some little boys and girls. So, and we were able to do that. So we said yes. Our house turned to chaos pretty quickly, but we had people jump in and help us. I never had to worry about how much do diapers cost. What about formula? Y'all, it was just a crash course in all things kids. And so the financial strain was, I didn't have a financial strain. 4 weeks after the Lord placed these babies in our house, our team went diamond. And we didn't have to go to church in 2 vehicles. We could put everybody, 4 car seats and 2 adults, in a big Lexus SUV. And so God just prepared the way from the very beginning when Jared said, look what they're doing with Plexus. And just check it out. And so our life is just forever different, you guys. So we adopted our kids a year ago. And so we just celebrated our Gotcha Day, September 29th. And our 15-year wedding anniversary was September 6th. And we were in Maui again for the 4th year on our anniversary, y'all. It's, the month of our anniversary, we get to go to 5-star hotels. I mean, whenever would we have been able to do that? So anyway, Alicia, if you have any questions, I've got a couple tips if you want me to jump right into that.
I love your story, y'all. Isn't it amazing? Oh my gosh. Like, seriously, I have followed from the very beginning. She came to Jewel training and brought baby Taryn, and I got to love on her while all this was going on. And my mouth was just open the whole time thinking, what? Like, every detail, every step was God planted. Just his arms were all over this. From you finding out about Plexus to each one of those babies. It's just mind-blowing. Mm-hmm. So yes, we would love to hear tips. Keep going.
Okay, well, my 3 tips for y'all. Remember, we want to keep it simple. Okay, we always want to keep it simple. So the first one is probably the first thing that I realized in my journey is that it is a journey, and you always want to look forward. Like with my first post, I wasn't trying to get a customer. I wasn't trying to get an ambassador. Like, I wasn't trying to seal the deal on my very first post. I wasn't trying to go emerald or diamond on my first post. I knew that Jared had been watching his friends for 6 to 9 months, looking and watching and following. And so I wasn't going to be disappointed or disenchanted or disillusioned with immediate gratification. Okay. I looked way ahead, and that's how I approached my business. I knew that people are going to watch me, and they were going to join me. Of course they're going to join me. Why wouldn't they join me? I knew that this was where it's at. And so I just shared like a blog. I didn't, I didn't feel a scarcity about it. I knew that I had something incredible. I had looked and played with and actually done it very seriously, other network marketing companies before, and this was so different. And I thought, why would anybody not? And I still believe that. And I was talking to Beth the other day, and she's like, oh my goodness, will you share that? Because if I were if I were approached with plexus today, I would take it. Out of everything else out there, I would take it. And not only that, I know I told my team recently, I'm like, you know what, guys, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Things are different now. They're different, right? Social media is different. Algorithms are different. You know, the way we work our business is a little bit different because we're on the radar. So we have to be very careful about how we portray our business. That's a good thing. But if somebody said, Kelly, look at this plexus, not only would I do it, but I'd do it just the way I did it before. Like I would still rank to the top, because just because it's not the same as it was now, I may do things differently, but it's still the best. It's the best thing out there. And I wouldn't let anything stop me. I'd say, okay, how do I do this? And I would do it. So that's my number one tip, is just to look ahead. Don't compare yourself or your journey to anybody else. And I know that, you know, your Jules on this Zoom will testify to that. You're never free from that. Like that's just human nature, right? To look to the left. What are they doing? Oh, what are they doing? Oh, she's better at speaking than I am. Or she's better on social media than I am. Or, oh, she's not as busy and I am. Oh, she's got another job and I don't, whatever it is. Don't compare yourself to other people. And the other thing that I want to talk to you about is, I don't know if y'all have heard this before, but this is so, so true. If you think about it in your own lives, people are more attracted to a guide than an expert. Okay. So sometimes I know it feels like when you're starting out, well, I don't have as much credibility as, you know, so-and-so. I don't have as much credibility as this person. But sometimes as you rise up the ranks, you become a little bit less relatable. So wherever you are in your journey, remember that. Think about that. If you're at the top, then remember that you have to dumb yourself down a little bit and make your life, you know, just be normal. You know, I think sometimes we're like, oh, we're going on all these trips. We're able to experience these great things. Yes, but talk about where you were, because that's, people can identify with either where you are or where you were. And if they can see themselves in you, some part of your journey, that's very, very attractive. When you're the expert, when you know everything about the products, guess what your ambassadors and your potentials are thinking? I could never know that much. I could never know that much. But if you just do what Celeste did, yeah, I just keep a little messy spiral notebook and I tell people what I'm doing. If they're interested, I follow up. Be relatable, be approachable. Just be a guide. You just want to be a couple steps ahead of the folks that you're attracting. Okay. And then the second one is simple. We talked about this. Keeping it simple is hard, especially the more you know, the harder it is. But please keep that in mind. Just know that everything that you're doing with a potential or a new ambassador, they're thinking, can I do that? If they can't do it, you might want to change your ways. Okay. Okay. And then the third one is to be consistent. And that goes for, you know, for me today. And I've struggled with this, as you guys can imagine, you know, having an instant family. It's been very hard for me to stay consistent with my team. But I told them a long time ago, and I'm trying to live up to it, that being consistent builds trust. It builds trust. So, you know, if you're just now starting out and you are posting on Facebook what you're learning, you know, sometimes less is more. Okay. Like you don't want to shove it down their throat with a fire hydrant, but be consistent. Be consistent in whatever it is you're doing. If you're sharing, be consistent sharing. If you're teaching people, you know, about health, you know, then they're learning from you. So you want to be consistent. Don't be hot and cold, start and stop. That's going to wear you out and you're going to lose credibility with your audience. So, and then another thing that I think is so important, and it goes with being consistent, is to take the emotion out of it. You know, a lot of people, I think, start this business because their best friends are doing it. And that's awesome. Freaking awesome, right? They have an incredible testimony. And so there's a lot of emotion in that. But this is a business. And so whatever you have to do to remind yourself that this is a business and you can't ride the highs and lows of the industry, the highs and lows of the seasons. You know, I had to talk to my staff all the time when I worked in restaurants because beginning of the school year, we weren't busy. And all these servers were like, pay all their cash, you know, and party, party, party all summer. And then August, September would hit and I'd be like, oh, I got no money. I'm like, it happens every year, doesn't it? Like, save a little bit of that, you know, like just know that there are cycles. And when you're prepared, you know, I feel like people don't get frustrated when you close the gap of what they expect. People get frustrated if they don't know what to expect. But if they know what to expect, you can close that gap. This is just like die off, right? When someone starts the products, you want to close the gap and let them know, hey, let's not get emotional about this. But let's talk about what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. This could happen. I heard, gosh, I don't remember who said this, but I thought it was so smart. To have your new folks on the product write down in a journal, like what it is, what kind of health things are you struggling with right now? What would you like to see happen? And they write it all out. And then when they say, oh, Kelly, you know, I've been on this for 10 days. I haven't lost any weight. Oh, okay. You know, well, that was to be expected. But let's look in your journal after 30 days. Let's see if you've crossed anything else off. And that takes the ambiguity out of it. It helps. Basically, you're not having to convince them, oh yeah, but have you slept any better? You know, oh, what about this? Like, you're not having to convince someone. You're taking the emotion out of it a little bit. What did you write down? Has any of that changed? Oh, wow. Yeah, it has. I have energy now when my kids come home. So I just think that's so important, just to be consistent, take the emotion out of it. You know, we're an incredible, fast-growing company. Are there going to be hiccups? Yeah. If there weren't hiccups, I'd be worried. Because fast-growing, cutting-edge businesses, you live and learn, right? You live and learn. And that's what kind of machine we're on. So as a leader, as a potential leader, how you react to those things, how you talk to your team about those things and your potentials, I'll tell you that the folks that rise up to the top of this company back the company. If I see a new young leader who's saying, well, I can't believe Plexus did this and I can't believe that, you know, you're going to have to change that, because Plexus has given you this opportunity to begin with. And, you know, that's just part of it. So I call it, you know, if you're a company woman, a company man, then the people that I know that rise to the top, you just don't speak ill about your company. Okay. So I think that's really important to note. So, yeah, that's what I got, ladies.
It's so good. I could listen to you forever. Seriously, we were in this chat together and she was saying something. I'm like, Kelly, I need you to talk to me. So, anyways, you're just so wise, and your stories that just absolutely amazing. And thank you for sharing all of that with us today.
My pleasure.
Questions for her? Alicia, do you have anything?
I don't. I love it. Kelly always amazes me with her story and her wisdom, and we just appreciate you. And thank you for taking time out of your day. Is it not cold there? Because you're making me cold with your tank top on.
It is, but my desk is right over a heater vent.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's super warm in here.
Oh. Oh, that's a cute little, is that your office?
Yes. This is my office / laundry room, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Here's my book collection.
Ellie's house is fabulous.
Outside.
Y'all need to follow her so you can see her pictures. Like her picture, it's like she just steps out of this magazine every day, and her kids. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah.
I think, Kelly, you have time for a couple of questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. She loves how to say to keep it simple, especially with newbies. When someone joins, what are the first few things that you advise them to work and to do that's simple?
Yeah, well, I invite them to share. You know, they need to make their list of folks that they would love to have in their business. and just start sharing. I mean, honestly, we keep it really, really simple. We just say, start sharing. You know, let's make a list, let's go through it, and let's start sharing. And begin with the end in mind. You know, don't think that you're gonna. A lot of times I have to coach people to not make this huge long post about, oh, this is why. And I'm like, not everyone's gonna see that first post. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Just trickle it. You know, be consistent and trickle your message. Don't feel like you have to tell them everything in that one post. I think that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Just go back to the basics. Just share. Yes, you can learn, but when we say work your business, we don't mean go learn your bit. Learn. Go share. Go talk to people. Go tell people what it's doing for you. That's working your business. When we're telling you to do, you know, IPA or power, go share. That's all it is. That's all it means. We didn't even know what power hours or IPA was back in the day. Like, these were all words that we had no clue. If somebody would have said that, would have been like, okay, whatever. But we just shared. We didn't. I feel like sometimes everything, it just gets so complicated, and there's so many things.
So complicated.
Challenges and blah, 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 blah. And if people would just consistently share and have their teams consistently share, I think that they would see a lot of different things happening. For sure.
I agree.
Not are bad. I just think sometimes we focus on that and we forget to share. And
we feel like we're so busy. I think we feel like we're so busy creating content or looking for content. And really all we need to do is go Google why probiotics are good for you. Share that. There's your validation. And then, you know, it's the personal reach outs too. I think we've gotten away from that for a long time. I think the people that are successful are the ones who, you know, you have relationships with people. You say, hey, I thought of you. I'm not really sure why, but would you like to take a look at this? You know, just really, really simple. You're just inviting people to take a look. That's our job. Inviting people to take a look at the products and the business. They go hand in hand.
Yeah, actually, we're talking about sharing, every kind of sharing. Like, you cannot just make posts. It's most definitely talking to people, obviously making posts. And I think one thing that's super important to remember too is being consistent in making your posts, especially if you're new. And then, you know, in the last year or two, some of us that have been here for like 6 years, we kind of have to spread it out a little bit more, just because we've been posting for so long. And because, like, I know, like, some of us, people tag us in so many things. And so we have that too. And so you don't want your page to look just Plexus. But I know so many people who will post once or twice a month. And like Alicia says, and it's the truth, it's like your clothes sign is up. People don't even think you're still in business because of all the algorithms with Facebook too. People aren't seeing those posts. Like, I'll see posts and I'm like, that's a 5 years post, and nobody's even seen that post. You know, I'll know a team member or something. And so absolutely sharing, reaching out, talking to people along with making your posts. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Unless you're posting about your heater being on, then everybody sees that one.
Yeah, that was great. So simple, right? It's so simple to get engagement. One thing I do want to mention, I kind of forgot. I had 200 friends on Facebook, right? So I don't know where all your networks are at, but I knew that I had to increase my audience quickly so that they could watch my journey, because I'm looking long term, right? I'm like, I need more people watching me. Like, they're going to be watching me promote. They're going to be watching me share. They're going to be learning from me as a guide. I need to increase this. So I obviously know more people than 200. So I would friend request them. And I think this is a little bit lost, you know, like writing thank you notes. Like, this is a little bit lost. Like, when you request someone to be your friend and they accept, you're like, oh, great, we're friends now. But what I did, maybe because I didn't know better or because I was being intentional, I don't know, you pick. But I would message them and go, Kara, thank you so much for accepting my friend request. What is going on in your life right now? I'm so glad that we're connected now. I didn't do that to talk about Plexus. I did that, you know, I wasn't going to be like, oh, and by the way, let me tell you what I'm doing now. Like, no. But I got to know what they were doing in their lives so that when I did see a need, I could show them how Plexus may be able to meet that need. So I was just very intentional about relationships.
That's awesome. That's a great tip. Anything else? Anyone? Anyone? Nope. All right. Well, Kelly, thank you so much. You know that we just absolutely adore you. And it's so fun to think that we didn't know you 5 years ago, and we watched your story, and like Alicia said, got to hold that sweet baby and just seeing those cute boys and how they have just, y'all are absolutely amazing. I think that. So it's so fun. That's the best part. The biggest blessings are the friendships that come through all of this. And so thank you for spending time with us.
One of the things, Beth, that I wrote when I was just thinking about talking to y'all is that you two were some of the first people to hold my baby girl. Like, I'd had her for maybe 5 days, and I thought, I can't leave her here with 3 boys and a new parent husband. Like, I'm gonna take her on the road with me. So you guys just held her and loved on her at our dual training, and it was awesome. That's so special.
We did.
We loved her. We love her. It's just
and she was dressed to the nines. She'd had her 5 days. This girl, she'd already had a full wardrobe. She was head to toe bow and pretty, just super cute.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I still want to know I still need to learn how you take those good pictures. So maybe our next Zoom can be about.
Okay. We can do it. It's easy.
All right. Thanks for joining us today. Y'all go get your subscriptions turned on, get your free shipping.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.